The alien warrior was surrounded, bracing for death. Until a human. Beginning. The battlefield lay broken under a twin-sun sky. Dust rose in golden spirals, carrying with it the metallic tang of blood and the acrid sting of plasma burns. Shards of ruined armor and the skeletal remains of shattered drones littered the dunes, evidence of the relentless fighting that had raged for weeks. Kareth staggered to his knees, his breathing ragged. The once proud crimson banners of his war tribe had been trampled into the dust, their cloth stained dark with defeat. He pressed a clawed hand to the wound in his side, feeling the hot seep of blood beneath his armor. His people, the Veilkar, had always sworn that no warrior of their kind would die begging. They faced death standing, roaring, blades raised high. But Kareth was alone. The circle of enemy soldiers tightened around him. They wore the dull gray armor of the consortium, their helmets reflecting the light like cold glass. The hum of their plasma rifles thrummed in his ears. 10-1 odds. A noble death. He braced his back against a broken ridge of stone, gripping his shattered warblade in both hands. The edges were chipped, one half nearly melted from an earlier strike, but still it was his honor. Still it was his oath. Karetha's mandibles clicked in defiance, his voice rasping through the battlefield. "Come then," he growled. "Send me to the ancestors." The first soldier raised his weapon. And then, an explosion cut across the sands. A plume of fire erupted near the consortium flank, sending soldiers sprawling. Out of the smoke strode a figure Kareth had never expected to see, small, fragile compared to his towering form, clad not in armor but in a patched exosuit of mismatched plating. A human. Kareth blinked through the haze. Humanity was all but extinct in this sector. Most believed them long dead, consumed by war or scattered to forgotten corners of space. Yet here one stood, rifle in hand, charging straight into impossible odds. The human's voice crackled over the battlefield, fierce and unyielding. "Get away from him." Middle. The consortium soldiers faltered, startled by the unexpected intruder. It gave Kareth a precious heartbeat to rise. He pressed his weight to his warblade, mandibles curling into a grim smile. The ancestors had a sense of humor, it seemed. Death had come, but it had brought a strange companion. The human fought with a reckless precision. Plasma bolts hissed past her as she darted between cover, her rifle snapping with bursts of fire. She wasn't fast enough to take them all, but her audacity disrupted their formation. Kareth seized the opening. With a roar, he surged forward, his warblade cleaving into the nearest soldier's chest plate. Sparks and gore sprayed across the sand. He tore the weapon free, pivoted, and used his sheer bulk to knock another opponent sprawling. Back to back now, the alien warrior and the human fought as if they had known each other for lifetimes. He covered her flank with sweeps of his blade, while she laid down suppressing fire whenever an enemy aimed for his unguarded side. "Why do you fight?" Kareth barked between breaths, his tone half a snarl, half disbelief. "This is not your war, human." "Doesn't matter," she shouted, ducking a blast that scorched the air above her head. "They were about to kill you. Couldn't just watch." Her words stunned him more than the rifle fire. The Veilkar believed only kin would risk blood for blood. Yet here was a creature of a dying race, throwing herself into a hopeless battle for someone she did not know. Together, they carved a path through the encirclement. The sands became littered with the consortium's dead. But numbers wore against them. More soldiers advanced from the ridges, rifles glowing. Karetha's blade arm trembled, blood loss making his vision blur. The human's rifle hissed, empty. The two stood panting, ringed once more. The reprieve was gone. "This," Kareth rumbled, "is where we end." "Not yet," the human replied. She glanced at him, eyes sharp, fearless. "Name's Riley. If we're dying, we're doing it together." For the first time since his warband fell, Kareth felt something stir in his chest, something that was not to spare. The soldiers moved to finish them. Then the ground split open beneath their feet. A consortium skimmer, damaged from the earlier blast, detonated violently. The shockwave hurled sand and metal through the ranks, scattering enemies and tearing a gap in the circle. Riley seized Caretha's arm. "Move," she cried. He wanted to resist, to stay and fight until the last breath. But her grip was iron. She dragged him through the smoke, weaving toward the jagged canyon beyond the battlefield. Stumbling, half-blinded, Careth followed. They collapsed in the canyon's shadows, lungs burning. Careth slumped against the rock, warblade slipping from his claws. His wound had worsened, blood seeped freely, staining the sand dark. Riley knelt beside him, fumbling with a small medical kit. "Stay still," she ordered, pulling out a spray seal. Careth growled weakly. "Why, help me. You know nothing of me." "Don't need to," she shot back, pressing the sealant into his wound despite his flinch. "You were outnumbered. I couldn't stand by and watch them butcher you." Her voice trembled, not with fear, but with conviction. Careth studied her in silence. Her species was small, fragile, skin soft, bones thin. Yet her spirit burned brighter than most warriors he had fought beside. "You risk your life, for honor not your own," he murmured. "Strange, human courage." Riley gave a tired laugh. "Guess that makes two of us." Over the next hours, they took refuge in the canyon. Riley scavenged rations and patched her gear, while Careth drifted in and out of consciousness. He expected death to claim him in the night. Instead, when dawn's twin suns rose, he opened his eyes to find Riley still there, rifle across her knees, keeping watch. The consortium scoured the battlefield above, but they did not find them. In the quiet, Careth spoke again. "Riley, my tribe is gone. My people, scattered. Without them, I am nothing." "You're not nothing," she said softly. "You're still breathing. That means you get to choose what comes next." Her words sank into him deeper than any blade. Ending. Days passed as they navigated the canyon maze, avoiding patrols. Riley guided them with uncanny skill, reading terrain as if the desert whispered to her. She revealed she had once been a smuggler, surviving on the edges of forgotten wars. Humanity had not gone extinct, it had endured, hidden in pockets across the stars. Caretha's strength returned slowly. With every step beside her, he felt his purpose reshaping. No longer the last survivor waiting for death, now he was a protector of something fragile, yet unyielding. One night, as firelight flickered against the stone, Riley turned to him. "You could leave, you know," she said quietly. "When you're strong enough. Go find the last of your people. Rebuild." Careth looked at her, mandibles clicking thoughtfully. "And leave you to wander alone? No. You saved my life, Riley of Earth. By my oath, I walk with you until blood or stars claim me." Her lips curved into a weary but genuine smile. "Guess I've got an alien warrior for a bodyguard now." He inclined his head. "Not bodyguard. Ally." Their bond was not born of kinship or shared past, but of fire and survival. In a universe tearing itself apart with wars and betrayals, that bond was rarer than gold. The consortium still hunted them, but together they pressed on, two exiles on the run. Wherever they went, rumors spread, of a Veilcar warrior and a human woman who fought side by side, defying impossible odds. Careth no longer braced for death. He braced for life, because against all reason, he had found it in the most unlikely of places, in the courage of a fragile human who stood when others would flee. And in turn, Riley had found that not all monsters wore alien faces. Some were capable of loyalty, honor, and even friendship. Under the twin suns, their shadows stretched together across the sand. Two survivors, bound not by blood, but by choice. And as long as they still drew breath, neither would face the galaxy alone again.